game between Lila Chess 0 and Deep Rybka 4.1 has started. I gave them the starting position you see right here, except bishop e7 wasn't there. So let's see what Lila is coming up with here. I'm probably used to go bishop here, or bishop d3. I thought about this many times, but f5 e4 is kind of annoying most of the time. Let's see what Rybka is coming up with here. Okay, castles. Lila also castles. Pretty fine here so far. Except bishop d3, I would have done bishop e2, but I guess this is a little bit more convenient. Bishop d3, a little bit more active. Queen can maybe come to h5, threaten something on h7 maybe at some point. Probably not right around here. Still, let's see what black is doing. So a6 or f5 or knight d7. I guess I would go for knight d7. Maybe a6 or a5 first. I don't know if I want to have this knight here. I mean, if I go a5, there is no b5. And I can always go a4. Well, a4 is kind of... I don't know about a4. If you go a5... If you go a5 and a4, there might be bishop c2. But otherwise, if you go knight d7 to c5, there is b4. But probably knight d7, f5, e4, and knight e5. That might be something to consider. In the meanwhile, for white, there might be b4 and bishop b2 stuff. I don't know. Black uses a lot of time here to figure out his position. Not that sure. I think it's gonna go with a6 as far as I can read. Deep Rybka's 11th move, a6, kicking that knight. a6, followed up with f5, most probably the main kind of thing here. In the meanwhile, on my laptop there is the same position running through. It went a bit different here. Stockfish is applying more pressure, I guess. So down to 2 minutes 40. I hope Rybka hasn't cracked yet, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm talking to nothing currently. But let's see. Deep Rybka 4.1 against Lila Chess. a6, 2 minutes 23 remaining for black. Knight c3. Well, this is kind of the only move. And now I guess f5 or knight d7. Knight d7, b4 might be an idea. Queen c2 probably as well, just stopping f5. But queen c2, knight c5, bishop e2, a5. I don't know. I mean, knight c5 now looks pretty juicy. Okay, g6. Rybka wants to go for f5 anyway. After the game I will... Okay, bishop h6, hitting the rook. Lila is playing pretty fast. I don't know about g6. I think g6 was somewhat of a mistake, although at least I would prefer white here. But okay, f5 is coming. f5 is coming. f5 e4. Knight coming into f6, bishop comes to f8. I don't know. Probably the position should be pretty even. Let's say f5, bishop back to f8, e4 and knight e5, and black has a playable and kind of good position here. Okay, b4 finally. Lila goes for this. Maybe there are some c5 ideas in the future, but I would probably go with e4, bishop e2, knight e5 anyway. Yeah. Freeing up the e5 square for the knight. Okay, bishop e2, knight e5. Well, bishop f6 is also kind of fine, but rook ac1, I think, as a response. Okay, b6, strengthening the queen side a bit. So there is no c5, bishop f6, or bishop f8 and knight e5 stuff can wait. So rook c1. Time-wise, Lila has more than twice as much time as Rybka. Position should be fine for both sides currently. Yeah, knight e5. Knight e5 plunging into d3. Bishop b7 as an idea at some point. Okay, bishop f6 first. Bishop f6 first. Rook d8. Rook d1, sorry. So maybe there is still a c5 idea. A takes, c takes, c5, and queen d5 checks connects with the rook. Okay, not anymore. So I don't think there is any c5 here. Queen f4, and not anything because knight e5 or bishop e5. Other options, I don't know. So now Lila is taking its time. Rybka figured out his position a bit. So now c5 is still on the cards. c5, bc5, bc5, ac5. I'm not that sure. Not that sure. I mean, after all, you have d6 maybe at some point. Not so bad. Knight can jump in. Maybe knight a4 is an idea. Okay, a5, a5. I don't know if this is helping black. So, okay, the queen went in. So bishop e5. Very interesting kind of position here. a3, strengthening the position on the queen side. The knight cannot be kicked away from this b4 square, but queen h4 might be an idea. f4, bishop e5 and f3, maybe it's in some lines. Not that sure. But first of all, we have a takes b4, a takes b4, a takes b4. Okay, positionally speaking, white is better, but strategically speaking, but the dynamics are probably, I don't know. Both sides have their good positions. Okay, now Lila stops any f4. Very wisely done. But 25 seconds remaining for Rybka is not a lot. Queen f6. Queen f6, so let's see what Lila is trying to do here. Knight c7 hits the rook and going into e6. Wow. I think positionally speaking, knight c7 to e6 is pretty nice. A knight on e6. Wow. Pawn on c4 is protected, pawn on b4 is protected. So now strategically speaking, and the dynamics of the position, everything is now knight, bishop g5, wow, or knight g5. lot of options. Maybe even c5 is in the position. Don't really know. No, probably not c5, but let's see. White has everything in his position. c5, okay, still. Bishop c4 might be an idea. Takes, and bishop c4. Well, bishop c4 immediately. Maybe even takes and bishop c4. Okay, knight takes. I'd probably grab this. Not sure. Probably grabbing it with the oh wow, that's also a nice move. Just hitting the rook. I think Rybka is going down now. I mean, positionally speaking, that's... And now bishop c4. Bishop c4. Knight takes... Wow. And okay, now rook takes bishop. But knight takes bishop. Queen takes bishop. I don't know. It should still be kind of even. After all, everything has exchanged itself. And there is a d pawn versus a b pawn. I mean, I would prefer the d pawn here, but I don't know. And I would prefer white's time here. Maybe queen c6 is an idea. Or no, d6 immediately. And now queen in. I don't know. Queen in. Oh, he connects with this. Okay, now the pawn is defended. So let's see how Lila is dealing with this now. Lila says that this is completely winning for white. But oh wow, queen c7 takes. And you cannot really... yeah, that's the thing. And if... Yeah, and if bishop takes, you have rook d8, d7 check, and picks up the bishop. Okay, that's a fine little finishing touch to that game. Okay, I think Rybka can resign now. I mean, being down a bishop for just 2 pawns, that's nothing. The b6 pawn won't survive for any long as well. Yeah, that was quite a nice game. I witnessed here. I'm probably going to analyze that. Yeah. Very nice positionally done here. Rybka played a good game here as well, but I don't think in 25 seconds that's doable to hold, so I think I'm going to adjust that game in a while, because Rybka is also down on time and down on position. So let's see, if both engines agree that this is winning for white, let's say more than +5, then I'm adjusting it. No, Rybka is still thinking that he is in the game a bit. Lila is thinking that it's completely winning. Of course this is completely winning, but okay, h4, you have to create something. It's not over till it's over. Maybe king up or king f1, I don't know. h5 is also a nice idea. h5, h6, just splitting the pawns. Just splitting those pawns, and then maybe rook c6, I don't know, or rook b6 and rook b7, rook b6 maybe. That's king up. Oh, now the king will collect all of those pawns. Let's see what he's doing. Queen, rook a7. I would prefer rook b7. Rook b7, rook e7, also fine. Okay, very nicely done. I wanted to go to e4, so now king h3 might be an idea. As well as rook b7, actually. Rook b7 just collects the pawn. Well, this also seems to be working. I would have preferred rook b7, I think. Rook b7, probably. Okay, now the b6 pawn is free for grabs. Rook here. Why wasn't the b pawn free for grabs? I don't know. I mean, it's 3 pawns versus the piece. I mean, of course Leela is better here and winning, but what is she doing? Actually, I don't really get those moves. Let's just ask Rybka if this is anything. Okay, still +2, nothing has changed. Rybka thinks that it's completely lost here. Basically, I'm gonna let my laptop check this game later on. Okay, now king h3, f4. Yeah, well, grab it with the bishop, right? Do not grab it with the pawn. Let's grab bishop takes f4. I mean, yeah, of course, but now the h-pawn is defended. Bishop back just, or king h4. King h4 probably a nice move with bishop g5. Okay, check him first. Check him first. Check him again maybe, or just plunge the king up the board. Okay, just plunge the king up the board. Or bishop e3, hit the rook first and then go up with the king. There are many ways. King g2 is a way back in the wrong direction. Yeah, Leela is a very, positionally speaking, a monster, but strategically speaking, but tactically and in calculations, most of the other engines are a bit better. But still, 30 seconds versus 12. I'm not sure if Leela is even winning it. In hindsight, it takes a lot of time. But if both engines are above 5, I will end it, and there is 376. Still both engines get 5 seconds, but if there is another check, then we see a draw here, and this is definitely not a draw. But I don't think Leela knows how to win this. Come on, play bishop rook c5. Rook c5 instantly wins. Rook a7. Oh my god. I mean, rook c5, just trade pieces, invade with the king. There is nothing to do for black. Okay, h4. Black is making it easy. Just take the pawn. g4 is... I don't know about g4. I mean, now you gave... Well, I think king h3 just collects the pawn anyway. Yeah, and now go behind the pawn, rook b7. Rook b7, rook e7. Okay, he wants to go after the e-pawn, fine. So now take it. Rook e4, come on. 11 seconds left. 10 against 10. It's a pretty hard time scramble now. King h3 maybe? No, probably not. Rook here, cutting off the king. Trying to go rook b5. Rook b5, come on, do it. Okay, right. So it's 1 pawn against the piece. Let's just check if Rybka is thinking that this is still +3, not more. So Rybka is still trying to figure out a way how to draw it. Rook here. Leela is going to lose on time if this is continuing that. But gets 5 seconds per move. just push f4 or something. Okay, g5, also fine. Also fine. King here. Go up the board, king h3, come on. Bishop here. f4, f4, f4. h3, something. King h3, come on, do something. Rook h3, king g4, king h5. Yeah, that's fine. That's king g2. Okay, let's bring the rook back. Even rook b3 might be an idea, but bishop e3, right? 3 seconds versus 7. Versus 10. So now 9 seconds. Rook here. Come on, collect the last pawn. Rook there. 2 seconds. Rook here. I think I'm calling it a draw. Okay. Bishop e1, come on. Rook e1 also nice. Rook e1 also nice. Okay, I think now I can call it a day. 411. 499. And 530, 1-0. Okay, fair enough. After all, Lila won it. Both engines agreed that this is unplayable and I don't want to watch it so far. Yeah, I don't really know where the mistake was by Deep Rybka. Seems as though that everything Lila did was just amazing there. Was very well played. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching and see you next time. Ciao.